What up, guys? Coach Jimmy here with Tech Talk, brought to you by Bearden's Chiropractic Care. Only guy in town that can straighten a preacher out. Guys, if you need any adjustments, you have any bulging disc or crazy things like that you need set straight, that's the only place in town I'd check out. All right, guys. Today I have Coach Taylor, Coach Bam Bam, myself, Coach Jimmy. Guys, we had a lot going on. I had a tribe trip this weekend that let me know all the things I was doing wrong. Some of the things that I was doing right as far as running a business and a school was. It was pretty cool to get to see how far ahead other schools I am and how far behind some of the schools that I am. So it was really cool. It was a really cool trip. It was Fort Walton, Florida. And like the beach there was beautiful.
Did you check out that McGuire's Irish pub I told you about?
No. Dude, do you know what I did? I got there. I went straight to where they were having the meeting at. I was like 45 minutes early. I walked across the road, got me an energy drink. I went back inside. I looked around. I didn't see anybody that I knew. So I went back outside. I slept for 15 minutes in the truck. Went back upstairs. I done the meeting. I ate there at the hotel. I got done with that. I went to the room. Everybody else went out, done all sorts of stuff. I went to my room. I read my book. I talked to Taylor on the phone for a while, and then I went to sleep. And then the next morning, I got up. I woke up way earlier than I should have and just read my book. And then I went to the thing. And then during lunch, I walked out to the beach. And I took a picture. I was telling on myself.
Yeah, you are.
I took a picture of the ocean behind me. I never even stepped off the dock. Like, I looked down and the sand looked really deep. And I was like, I'm wearing slides, and I don't want to fill my slides up with sand.
Gulf Coast is soft sand.
Oh, those are the best beaches. I love those beaches.
Yeah, I love the blue ocean, and the sand looked really soft. And I was like, man, that looks awesome. And I want to walk out there, but I don't want to spend the rest of the day at the thing. My room was not where the thing was.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to spend the rest of the day with dirty feet. So I didn't. I just snapped a couple pictures, and then I went back inside and I ate and done the rest of the tribe event, and just basically talked to people that are own businesses. That's basically all it is a bunch of guys and girls that own gyms that talk about the things that they're doing, the things that's working, the things that ain't, how to manage the numbers, to like see the metrics, to see exactly what is working, what isn't working. And dude, it was over, and I sat there, and I had the room for another night. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go back to this room. I got to the room, I grabbed my stuff, I sat there for about maybe 10 minutes, and I drove home. Took a shower, drove home. Like I'm not staying here. I got a bed waiting for me. I got home at like 1:30 in the morning, but I learned a lot. Like some of the stuff that we had started that we quit doing, some of the stuff that we were doing that we didn't do well, I learned different ways to do it. It was awesome, especially coming off the heels of the week before.
Right.
The week before, we were having this big ass discussion in the gym, and I don't even know how it got to where it got to, but it's hilarious. I've listened to it. We got 4 cameras sitting there pointing at the mat. 3 of them you can see me in the group. We was talking about, we had kids class going on, we had women's class going on. Taylor yelled at me to hush.
I sure did.
It was so funny.
I was at the other end of the mat, and I was having to holler over you.
But you gotta scoot this way. But anyway, it was one of those things that it was one of those things that I wish it hadn't happened. But at the same time, I stand for something, like, and I teach these kids certain things, and it was one of those things where I don't have a fight or flight response. I have fight. And like we've talked about it on here before, is like when I had 6 dudes running at me to fight, and I just buckled down and was basically backing up and steering them, so I was only having to fight one at a time, but like until my back was against the wall, but I never ran. And like when the psychiatrist asked me, he's like, why didn't you run? It was like, why didn't I run? That was stupid. Like I don't know. Like it never crossed my mind to run, Well, this day I was joking with one of my friends on the mat. We were sitting at the edge of the mat, and we were talking about like text messaging. Text messaging is like for me, I don't like doing it. I'll message enough to kind of let people know like what I need to know or what they need to know, and then I don't do it unless it's someone that I don't know on a personal level. If it's somebody that I don't know on a personal level, then I don't have their number. I don't call them anyway. So I'll text whatever I need to text to get it over and said and done.
I'm not as big a fan of texting just because you never know. It's hard to tell the intent or the tone behind it.
Right.
It's just
that's me. That's exactly the way I feel. And like it's hard to display emotion through text.
I feel like you have to explain it more in text to get your point across in the emotion you're trying to express.
Right. But if you hear my voice,
you know it.
Right.
I agree with that if it's an important conversation.
Yeah.
Like if it carries weight. But I don't mind. I would rather just text somebody like, hey, what are your plans next weekend or something. I would much rather have that conversation over text because I can respond when it's convenient for me.
Right, and that's cool. And I've had situations like that to where it'll be a back and forth, and then we get to a point like, okay, I'm just going to call them. Like,
Yeah.
Like you have a back and forth and it reaches to a certain point, you're like, okay, we just need to talk, and you're calling.
Yeah, like especially some of my good friends with them being parents and they're working throughout the day and everything that they've got going on, and they'll just shoot me a message. I'll respond whenever I can, and that's just how we communicate. 'Cause I know like Jimmy, he'll get on the phone and he'll stay for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and I just don't have time to sit on the phone for over an hour. Are you laughing?
I was just shaking my head like,
Yes, you do.
No, it's like, so I'll explain
Here
that.
comes the explanation.
No, I'll explain that. But like my buddy Chase, he drives. Like he drives long distance to work for his work. So like during the morning when I get up, I talk to him and we just talk about stuff like our goals, things like that, or just whatever's going on in each other's lives. But I do it because he's driving, and I don't want him to be sleepy or whatever first thing in the morning and just driving. And then I talk to people like Wyatt. Talk to him like for the last, it's been maybe 3 weeks now? Going on 3 weeks now. I talk to him every morning to kind of talk to him about goals and the growth. And like, he's come such a long way as a person. And it's because of things like that, like the talks in the morning and stuff. So, and that's kind of what I was in the mood and was thinking the other day, like in the gym. That's what was going on in my mind. But when it turned into whatever it was, like let me tell the story. So I'm gonna try to make this as short and as sweet as possible. But it's one of those things where I was talking to my buddy. He sent a K text or something. I don't even remember exactly how that happened, but I was like, dude, you can't send K text, you can't send thumbs ups, and you can't send ILY because that'll get you in trouble. Now it was a joke, but it's true. People think you're being short with them if you send a thumbs up or if you send a K.
And I do that all the time.
Right, and I think it is an age thing. I think it is like a generation thing because I do it. I used to do it all the time. And then Taylor and I got into a relationship, and she would have a meltdown like because I sent her a thumbs up. Yeah, let's see it show him that face. That's the face. But it's true. Like, you want to defend yourself?
I'm not an argumentative person, so I'm gonna just let you say whatever you feel like saying.
But you should say how you feel. You should speak up. Use your voice.
I never had a meltdown over a thumbs up. I would just be like, "What's wrong?" If that's a meltdown, then you and I have very different definitions of meltdowns.
She would literally go, "What's wrong? Are you mad? What's going on? What are you upset about?" And I'd be like,
one question. It was never 5. One question.
"All right, so we can agree to disagree on this." I'm just kidding. Nah, maybe I am exaggerating a little bit, but when I write Iowa,
You tend to do that sometimes.
yeah, oh yeah. But when I write, that's why I get that look, and you know, like you can look at my face and tell. But like when I type Iowa, that is like me. I'm asking for, like if I say Iowa, I'm asking for her to be like, "How come you can't type it all the way out?" Like,
You make me sound like a terrible person. I just have you know.
I don't think you're a terrible person. I just think that you want what you want, and you want to make me write "I love you" all the way out.
I do thumbs up and emojis a lot of times. Even like my sister and my mom, like we'll have a group. Sometimes we'll spell out "love you." Sometimes we'll do "love" with the letter U. We have even like all 3 of us have done like a heart with the letter U and just left it at that.
Right.
See, even that's different than ILY because I'm like, ILY is different than I love you. And just don't say anything and just call me and tell me you love me. Don't just send me ILY if you enjoy talking on the phone so much.
Well, I was gonna say, Jimmy's one that I would rather text, just because of, like how his mind works. Because we've been like talking on phone conversation. His mind works so fast, and he's thinking of other things. Like he'll be in the middle of a sentence, and it takes him a minute to get it out because he's thinking of 10 different things while he's trying to talk to you.
Yeah, I do it all the time, and I get ahead, and I get, like, I've already had the conversation, I've already said, and then I will have to realize that I didn't say it out loud, and I have to backtrack. I do that shit all the time, but it's probably like talking to a skipping CD.
It exactly what it is. Yes.
But anyway.
Yeah. You're
All
continuing
right,
the story.
so
ILY.
yeah, so I said you can't do that. I said, but I do it anyway. And one of the parents overheard me. You have a big shadow on the side of your face. There you go. But one of the parents overheard me and said, if she wants you to do that, top it out, you should just top it out. And my troll brain went,
Big red button.
no. I went, why? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? If she wants me to, and I don't want to, why should I give in and do what she wants me to do? And I asked that question. I posed it just like that. And I said, if she's getting upset about something, now she's using her emotions to manipulate me into doing something that she wants me to do. And it was like, no, women are more, I didn't say this. The other parent said, women are more emotional than men. Therefore, you should just do what she wants. And I was like, oh, because women are more emotionally unstable, I'm supposed to just forget all about my emotions like they don't matter. It's, I love you. You can't write out, I love you. I'm like, actually, it causes me anxiety, but that's not what we're talking about. It does. Because every time I swap, I love you, it changes it to, I like you. And now I have to take my big fat thumbs and try to back it up and fix it. And I got a million things going on inside of my mind, and it messes up. Also, text makes me look extremely stupid all the time. Not that I'm extremely smart to begin with, but I'll read stuff, I'll type it out. I'll type something out and I'll read it the way I thought it instead of what I really wrote. And then it's all jumbled. It's not the same. And it's because I'm not really reading it, I'm thinking. It's like,
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about texting, like autocorrect, like my phone, like never have I ever meant to say duck you. Ever. I've never tried to say duck you.
Right. But see, I say that. I say you ducking. Like you duck? You a duck? You're not at class? So I say duck all the time. But oh yeah, thank you. But yeah. So I say stuff like that all the time. But anyway, so I was having a conversation with two people. It was one, the other person overheard, and then they got in. And they were like, no, women are more emotional. I was like, because women are more emotionally unstable. And then someone was like, we didn't say women were emotionally, just like raise their voice immediately. We didn't say women emotionally unstable. I was like, what does emotional mean? And I said that, no one responded. I was like, you're saying all women are emotional. I was like, well, no, I didn't say that. I'm just saying what she said. But I was getting over talked. And now there's one person in the middle of like 5 people talking loud, and they're trying to recruit other people to twist what I was saying. And one person said, they said, well, shouldn't you care about her emotions? Shouldn't you care about her happiness? And I said, her happiness is not my responsibility. And what's your job as a husband? Does she know this? She's going to walk down the aisle with you? She's actually going to marry you? I wouldn't have nothing to do with your ass. You're misogynist. I can't believe that. And like, now, when all this was going on, not only did I have one person that I was trying to have a legit conversation with, I had another person screaming at me. Then I had 2 other people asking me questions, and I was trying to answer all the questions in which I heard and stay calm. Right? Well, I have one person telling me that Taylor shouldn't marry me. She shouldn't walk down the aisle with me because I said that I'm not responsible for her happiness. And then I followed that up with, I'm only responsible for my happiness. I'm responsible for my happiness. She's responsible for her happiness, and we share that happiness. The moment I start giving up my emotional stability for hers is the moment I start becoming miserable, and then I start making her miserable. But I never got to say any of that because I kept getting questions like, what's your job as a husband? Oh, don't you care about her? If you don't care, why are you even in a relationship? And stuff like that. And they took me saying that I'm not responsible for her happiness as me saying that I don't care about her happiness. Because I said, she said, so what do you do when she gets you upset? I said, I don't care enough to get upset about anything like that. Like, she doesn't have control of my emotions. Like, outside of her belittling me or cheating on me, I can't even imagine a way for her to really make me upset. And that's so mind-blowing to people because you're supposed to care about every little thing, right? But I don't. If she wants to go out with her friends, she don't even got to tell me. Like, she does, and I appreciate it, but it's like, hey, I'm at Ashley's. Oh, cool. I didn't know you were going over there. When you coming back? I'll be back this time. All right, I'll be doing this. Like, that's the way our relationship is. And that doesn't mean that I don't care. It means that I care more about her being happy than I do about anything else. I want her to be happy. I want her to chase the job that she wants or chase the grappling or whatever she wants to do. I don't want to be the reason that she don't do it. And that's what I was trying to say. And the point that I started out with in the very beginning was, and I said this, I said emotion and reason can't occupy the same space. That's a principle of life. So when someone gets emotional and then they start being angry towards you and then they want you to do what they want to do because they're angry, they're manipulating you with their emotions. They're using the emotion that because you care, they're using that against you to get you to do something that you don't want to do. And if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. And I was trying to say all of that while it was chaotic and crazy. And it got turned into someone yelling at me and posturing and talking over me. So I did it back. And I used a tone in which is like, no, I'm gonna stand tall I'm going to speak clearly, and I'm going to make eye contact. I'm not going to let 6 people stand here, 7 people, 8 people, however many people was there, 3 people. I don't care how many people was. I'm not going to let them try to bully me or try to make me feel small because of my beliefs. Because that's how I felt, and I had extreme anxiety. But I was like, no, I'm not. And then it got to a point, and I've watched the camera. Dude, I've watched this on camera four times. I know I've watched it 4 times because it bothered me in my core of how it all played out. Because I let it take too long. You know what I'm saying? I let it go on too far, too much. But I told him, I said, stop. I said, stop it. You're twisting my words. And then she got loud and kept on. And I said, you can't possibly tell me you're happy. Stop it. I've heard things you've said. Stop attacking me. I was like, you're not going to moral kidnap me. Like, I did not say moral kidnap out loud at the time. I just said, you're not going to attack my morals. But it's called moral kidnapping. It's like when you feel some type of way, and when your argument doesn't hold water, you start attacking the person's character in order to say, hey, he's a bad person, I'm a good person. Listen to what I got to say more. You know what I mean? It happens all the time. It's called moral kidnapping. I didn't use that term, but that's what happened. And I said, in the whole thing, I said, stop it. Stop it. I've heard things you said. And then I said, you can't tell me you're a happy person. Why would I listen to you about that? You can't tell me you're happy. So stop it. I've heard things you've said. And they said, I've heard things you said. And I said, okay. I stand by the things that I said because I put a lot of thought into them. And I have. And here's what blew my mind. She said what she said again. They said what they said again. And I said, I've heard you say things like this. And then I repeated what she said. She said in my class 2 different times, other parents heard her say it. If my man acted like that, he wouldn't get any. He wouldn't be getting none. And I repeated it. And at that moment is when I lost myself because I should have never said that. I should have never went that route, but I've already got people yelling at me. I already got people raising their voice. I felt the need to start, and I never meant to sling arrows, right? But I had already had 4 or 5 arrows slung at me, and then people telling me that Taylor shouldn't marry me, and she shouldn't walk down the aisle with me, that I was a piece of shit, and like all this stuff. And then I slung an arrow back. Like, you're not happy. I've literally heard you say this inside the gym. 2 different occasions. And other parents have heard it too. And you're telling me you're in a happy relationship. No. And I said it. I said, no, you're not. And I was like, you might be happy, but your husband isn't. And that was wrong. I should have never said that. And I the moment I said it, I was like, dang it. I let that old Jimmy brain, that one that I've been fighting so hard to get away from, take over in that moment. And I shouldn't have. But I'll admit wrong. I'm not saying I'm not wrong in that aspect. But every one of these people have sons. Every one of them have sons. And they're teaching their kid that a woman's emotions matter more than theirs. And which was the whole thing that I was combating. And I cannot stand by and just allow that to be taught. It's wrong. And like, they're responsible for their success. They are responsible for their happiness. Like, they have to choose to be happy. You don't just wake up and you're happy every day. You don't just get up and be happy. That's not how it works. You have to build your life and do things in a manner to make yourself happy. And that's what I was saying. And when I said I'm not responsible for Taylor's happiness, I meant that. Does that mean that I don't care about her happiness? Absolutely not. But we never got that far because it was a screaming match. Right? And I was extremely calm. I thought maybe I was posturing or maybe I was doing that thing that I do. Dude, I've watched the cameras. I saved the video. Not because of anything other than it bothered me and it hurt me that that it turned into what it turned into because of me. I could have walked away in the very beginning and it never got to that point. But once I dug my heels in the ground and I started feeling the anxiety of what was going on, I don't have flight in my responses. And I was feeling very targeted and attacked at that moment. And I'm not trying to say I was a victim or anything like that. I'm just saying that the way it felt, I felt like I didn't have any options. Because if I would have backed down, if I would have backed down from it, right? Then, if I would have backed down, then it would have been like, wasn't standing for something that I believe in. But if I did what I did and dig my heels in, it feels like I'm being aggressive and having a tone back to talk over someone who's screaming at me. So it was just a lose-lose once I allowed it to go that far. So I should have never allowed it to go that far. But guys, when I tell you that it blew my mind that people don't realize that they're responsible for their own happiness. Like, what's your job as a husband if it's not to make your wife happy? It's like, that is the craziest thing. That is not a husband's job. You can't make another person happy. I don't care how hard you work, how hard you try, how much of yourself you give that person. All you're going to end up doing is making yourself miserable because you're giving pieces of yourself up to somebody, male or female. And I said it several times. Emotion and reason cannot occupy the same space. So as soon as that thing got emotional, I should have just been like, hey, y'all are emotional. We'll talk about it later. Because it fell on deaf ears. You know what I mean? And the only reason I'm even bringing it up today is because I kind of want to just put it behind me, but I want to get my point out there. And that is, I don't think it's a good idea to tell someone, anyone, girl or boy, but there's a reason that men are responsible for the most suicides. There's a reason that their suicide rate is so high. And it's because the pendulum has swung, however you say that, so far to the other side. Because in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, like, men were beating women and like it was awful. It was bad. They didn't have rights. They didn't have like things like that. It was really bad. So then people started teaching their kids like, you know, you treat women with respect, women matter, women are special, this and that. But now it's gone so far that men are being taught happy wife, happy life. And they're being taught that their emotions don't matter. And that's the reason that men are responsible. That's one of the reasons that men are responsible for the high suicide rate. They don't have anybody to talk to. And they're being told that how they feel doesn't matter. And I think that we do not need to tell our little boys and our young boys and the boys in our program that their feelings don't matter when it comes to a girl, that their feelings are just as important. If Taylor and I are going to Walmart, she wants to go to Walmart and I don't, and she gets mad at me because I don't want to go to Walmart with her, and then she starts throwing a fit, and I'm like, fine, I'll go to Walmart. Now we're both mad at Walmart together. Like, now, is that a healthy, happy relationship? No. She just used her emotions to manipulate me into doing something she wanted me to do that I did not want to do. And how many times does that happen before you start losing your happiness or losing pieces of yourself? If the roles were reversed, if I got mad at her because she didn't want to come to the gym, or got mad at her because she didn't want to, and now I'm manipulating her with my feelings and my emotions to do what I want, that's not healthy. And that was my whole point. Is like, dude, I write I love you to her every single morning with a Snapchat. But if I'm busy or there's a lot going on, I'll send IOI. And it means I love you. To me, it means the same exact thing. Even if she feels different. And we've had these conversations, her and I have, several times, had them. And I was like, I don't want to be the reason you're unhappy. The moment that starts happening, we need to sit down and have a talk. Like, we need to figure this out, because I'm not going to allow anyone to mess with my happiness. I'm going to be happy. Like, I've built my life to have the lifestyle that I want. Right now, like, even with all the problems that I have, I'm still happy. Like, I'm not mad or angry at the world. Like, I don't hate anything. I'm still happy. And it's because I've designed my life that way to be able to do the things that I want and to do the stuff that I want, you know? And I would hope that everyone that's around me knows, first of all, like a lot of times when I'm joking and playing, which is how all this started out, is like, I'm just having a go. Like, I'm having fun. And then when it turned into what it turned into, it's like, no, you're failing to miss the point. And that point is, I'm going to repeat it. You, whoever you are, women or man, are responsible for your happiness. You cannot lose yourself giving yourself to someone else. You cannot, like, if that's what makes you happy, then fine. But if you're doing things that makes you unhappy to try to make someone else happy, it's wrong. And you're living your life in a manner that's not healthy. It's toxic. Does that make sense? What do you have to say about this? Because you and I have talked about it since then.
Well, I mean, like I told you, you and I are very much so on the same page with it because we've spent a lot of time, talking about what we need from one another and what, will help make us have a fruitful relationship. But I think that it escalated because how you mentioned the tone that you use. And I've told you several times, you go so far extreme trying to make your point that, and I've even told you, like, I hate it when you have this conversation in front of people because I look like a battered housewife. I can't stand it. Every time they look at me with pity in their eyes. And you just go so far extreme trying to make your point that they don't see the person that you really are. But you and I do have a good understanding, on what we both need, whether it's me going to spend the weekend with my friends or you staying up all night playing video games, or, we do what makes us happy. But then we talk about, like, hey, I need this from you, or I need this from you, because to meet our love languages. Because we don't feel loved by one another, then there's no sense in us being in a relationship. So we do, try to cater to one another and make each other feel loved. But that's, in my opinion, different than happiness.
But that's another thing, is that we have dove deep into each other's love languages and, like, tried to figure out what exactly that is so that we do feel loved. And you know exactly how to make me feel loved. And like, it took me a little while to figure out, like, what you needed from me, but we talked about it and we had those conversations enough to know, right? And that's because we care. That's not because we're trying to make each other happy. I hate that, because it's me caring about her happiness is different from me trying to make her happy. And it's just two different things.
I mean, the best example that I have is, when I was working an 8 to 5 and I was miserable, there was nothing in the world that you could have done to take that from me. Like, I was going to be unhappy whether you were husband of the year or not. I mean, there's nothing that you could have done. I had to make the decision to get out of that and to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah. And that right there is what I've been trying to say and do this whole time, is like, no amount of work will make another human happy. No amount of work will make another human happy.
And I think in a relationship, I mean, you have to respect one another. You have to be able to sit down and say, hey, this is what I want. And the significant other says, hey, this is what I want. And figure it out. You can't just say, well, this is what I want. I don't care about you. Like, or hey, do this because it's what I want. Whatever. We're going to do this. We're going to vacation at the beach. I don't care if you want to go to the mountains or whatever it is. You still have to, you can't make someone do something because it's what you want without taking their feelings into consideration.
And I 100%, like, if I don't want to go somewhere, I'm not going to go. And I don't care how much. It's like, go have fun. Go have fun at the beach. I'm going to be here. Like, I'll go have fun at the mountains. I'm going to be here. I'm not going because I don't want to go somewhere that I know I'm going to be miserable. Now, sometimes if I'm unsure, I'll go. If there's any doubt, like I might have fun or something, I'll go. But that's because I'm not sure that I don't want to go. But if I'm sure, I'm not doing it. And I wouldn't want any of my friends to go with me. Or I wouldn't want Taylor to go with me just because of fear that I might upset. They might upset me. Because I'm not going to get upset at you. I'm not going to get mad at you because you don't want to do something that I want to do. And that point was missed in that whole thing. It was missed. And I think it cost us some members. I know it cost us like 5 members. And it's funny, like we added 12 members and then we lost 5. So it was like, dang. And it was my fault because I could have just walked away from the conversation, But here's the thing. I felt so driven and so passionate about what I was saying that I don't care about the 5 members. Like, I really upset that we took 5 members that are really good, that was part of our culture to this point, and lost them. I'm upset about that, but I'm not upset because I was willing to die on the hill. So, I'll burn this bitch down before I let my morals or my convictions or any of that stuff get passed over or pushed over. I'll burn this bitch down. I don't care. I don't care enough about it to like, I don't care enough not to, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that I don't care. I'm saying that I care more about what I was trying to say and educating people in this than I did losing members. Does that make sense? And I'm not trying to like say, oh, well, screw those guys or whatever, because I'm not saying that at all. Like, if they want to come back, I'd welcome with open arms. I don't hold a grudge. I don't care. I don't want it to affect my happiness enough. And there's 3 of them. It's a family that, like, dude, that one hurt. Like, that one I was like, oh man, because those are my people. You know what I'm saying? But telling your son that his emotions don't matter as much as a woman's is not okay with me. And that was the message that was being sent. And when I stood up for that and said, no, everyone is responsible for their own happiness and their emotions matter just as much. I don't care how much it upsets Taylor for me to write IOY. It's like, I'm giving you an IOY. It's her job to be upset about it or accept it and say, hey, he's telling me he loves me. Or to interpret it however she feels. I'm not in control of that. But having her manipulate me into writing out I love you, which this is a very small example. I write I love you most of the time. But the point is that if she wants to manipulate me with her emotions to do that, it comes at a cost. How many times do you do something so small until it starts becoming a problem? Until I start forgetting about myself. And like I said, this is very small, very minute. It doesn't even matter. I really don't even care enough for any of it. But this podcast, for me, is a way to kind of like set the record straight for all the people that was getting messages and for the people that didn't actually know what was going on. And also, like, this is one of those things where, man, it's a lesson learned for me. There's only been 2 times since the gym's been open that I've ever dealt with anything like this. Twice. And both times I learned from it and I become a better person for it. And this time it was something that I learned, and I know for a fact that I'm willing to die on that hill for my beliefs and my core beliefs and my core values, and I'm willing to die on that hill. So I'll stand here and tell you guys that this whole story, this whole thing was silly. It got out of hand. I allowed it to get out of hand. But you are in control of your happiness. And if you say otherwise, then you're not realistic. No one else is in control of your happiness. You are supposed to make the best of the situation that you are in. if you keep giving up bits and pieces of yourself for other people, you're going to lose yourself. You're not going to find happiness. You're not going to find the things that you want. And that's all I was trying to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
That particular situation, the way it escalated, and just matching emotions, just going like tit for tat, like how quickly it escalated. Because I was on the mat with a class myself. That it could have been handled differently. I feel like that could have been a good discussion or conversation if like it didn't escalate like that and people trying to attack. It could have been like a back and forth, like an actual discussion.
And that's what I thought it was until like my character and stuff started getting attacked.
We get some people that I guess their way to discuss or have a conversation is that, like, to have an argument. Like, I don't like arguments. I'll have a discussion, like actual thought process, but I don't like arguing.
Right.
Same.
And we've had like discussions, and we just at the end of it we still didn't agree, and that's okay.
Like Wonder Woman.
Exactly. It's okay to not agree with each other. With this, I feel like I'm in line with both of you. Like, I don't. Happy wife, happy life, like, is BS. Like, both individuals in the relationship matter. They both matter. You can't make someone happy, but I do think compromise plays a part. Like, I'm not gonna bend over backwards all the time, but it's a compromise where, like, oh, if I did this will make them happy, I'll do that, but I expect it to be reciprocated. Like, if they want to do something random one day that they know I would like they would do it to make me happy. But it's not something that's continuous, like you do it all the time. But every now and then, to show that, oh, I know this is gonna make them happy, I'll do it. I'll do this little small gesture. That's what I'm saying.
Gesture, yeah.
Gesture, yeah. But I expect it in return as well, because we both matter.
Right.
So, but that's as far as I take it. Like, it's not something like you make yourself miserable for this other person to be happy. Right. Because even then, like, it doesn't matter. Like, what I'll say is, like, you could do everything in the world to make this person happy. What's to keep them? Like, they could, for instance, like, I was married once, got a divorce. I did what I could to make her happy. No, she still, like, decided, like, to cheat and stuff and run around. I mean, so both people matter.
Yeah, and dude, like you were saying though, it's like compromise and stuff like that. Here's the thing, I struggle with compromise. Like, she's shaking her head, yeah, and she's making big eyes. I struggle with compromise. Here's why. Because at the moment I start compromising with things that I don't want to do, the moment I do that, then I'm and I hate to say it this way because she hates it when I say things like this, but you're teaching people how to treat you. And people will treat you the way that you allow. Like, if I got quiet when people started yelling at me and sheltered and like looked down on that, people would yell at me more often.
They think they can do it.
Because they think they can do it. Right. So if I don't want to go to Walmart and she knows if she gets angry, then I'm going to go to Walmart with her, and she wants me to go to Walmart with her, then she's just going to do it all the time to make me go to Walmart.
I was about to say, when you were using that as an example, all I could think about was that time that we set up like that surprise for you, and she could not get you to come to the surprise.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not going. And I
need you to go.
She's like, no, I need you to go. And like, I was like, all right, well, we're both going to be mad shopping because I don't want to go shopping. And that's one of those things, though, that's what I'm telling you. Is like that in my core, it's not about me not wanting to go somewhere. Because I'll go to Walmart if she asks me. Even if I don't want to go, I will go. But not because she manipulated me with her anger or whatever. If she says, I don't really want to go either, but we need to, okay, let's go to Walmart. But that is not a compromise over her emotions over mine. It's not something she wants to do either. It's something we have to do. Does that make sense? So and I care about that. I don't want her to have to do things that she don't want to do, and I don't want to do things that I don't want to do. But if there's something that we have to do, and it's like we might as well do this together to get it done, or whatever. Like, I'm cool with that. But like, if I don't want to go to her dad's to grill out, I don't want to go to her dad's to grill out, which I do. Every time he grills, I want to go because he cooks and it's good. But if I don't want to, then I'm not fucking going. And if you want to get
Why
mad,
you gotta get so aggressive, bro?
I don't know. But if you want to get mad and throw hands about it, we can get mad and throw hands. I'm just kidding.
I thought it was funny too when she mentioned like when you get this worked up, like I feel like a better housewife. I'm like, and she trains jiu-jitsu, so she's always got a bruise or an injury.
Dude, it's so bad. You just don't understand the looks that I get sometimes. And then when he gets on this kick, like, I'm not doing it. And I'm like, bro,
that's where
not
she got it.
today.
That's where she got it from.
Yeah, not today. Can we please not?
Dude, it was so funny. She did something to her knee the day after this. Like, the day after, she, like, tweaked her knee in the match. Her knee got caught in the mat. So she was coming in the gym with a knee brace. I was like, don't come in here with a knee brace. They're going to think I beat you. Nah, but it was a joke. We were joking about it. But
Off the seriousness, I feel like, because I like you sharing your story, because like you, like I like to get my side of things out. So I thought this would be a good one. Like you told the whole story, you got your side out. Change it up a little bit. Off the seriousness, you've decided on the weight classes for Strange Matter.
yes.
I want to say that because this will come out before Strange Matter, won't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna. This will get posted tonight.
Okay.
And that's why we got it playing in the background. We're trying this new thing, but like we had to adjust our mics because
Yeah, like,
just so y'all know, if I get behind the mic, it looks like a floating mic, and this does not look
it's magic.
very attractive.
Yeah. Poof, it's there.
It just poof, it's there,
And it's gone.
and it's gone. But no, so we was trying to adjust the mics and get this thing showing so you guys can see it. June 4th, it's SMI Strange Matter Invitational. We're going to start getting a lot more selective once this thing grows because this is going to be the tournament that all kids are going to want to do to get ready for EBI, to get ready for your PGFs, to get ready for all of those other big name tournaments. So anyway, the weight classes, I don't have them right in front of me, but it's 70 and under, and then it's 90 to 110 for our kids. And then our teen division, I think we chose 140 and under, which is the reason I said 140 and under. We got a kid that's like 13 or 14 that's 137 pounds. And then we have like 5 kids that are like 16 that are like 125, 130. So we just went to 140 to include that kid. But it's mostly smaller weights. And it's June 4th. We hadn't decided exactly on a time yet. I think we're going to go a little later in the afternoon than we did the last times because that way people that are coming all the way from Florida, I think we got a family coming from Ohio, a family coming from Columbus. So like I don't want them to have to get up so early to get here.
Right.
They can get here, weigh in, do their matches and go home or go,
So you're thinking like after lunch then?
Yeah, probably after lunch. And that'll give us time to set all this stuff up too because now they're going to be in a big open mat.
Right.
And the cage kind of contained the wireless cameras and stuff. But now it's going to be all over the mat and I don't want to lose anything. So we're going to move this stuff like 2 mics, the switcher, and the other thing. We're going to move it downstairs and set up at the edge of the mat. So that way we don't have to worry about losing anything, any of that stuff.
Okay. Now I was thinking too, like in my head, the long edge of the mat, by the wall, not the blue pattern, but the actual wall. You can have the other, like the competitors and coaches, they can sit there on the edge, and that will kind of keep them from getting off the mat.
By the brick and stuff.
So if they got carried away with a takedown, you got people there to stop them.
And you know what's funny, man, is that edge of the mat's where everybody gets drawn to like a magnet. Like every time we got a 30 by 64 mat, and they're still drawn to that side.
Well,
it's hilarious.
Like when we come in here like on the weekend and there's only like 2 or 3 pairs working just to get some extra mat time in, you gravitate towards each other.
Yeah, you like roll into each other.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you got like, you're on the other side of the mat. That's where we started.
Right.
That happened to us tonight, just rolling into people.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny, but like attracts like, right? Like, it's like if you poured water in the middle of this table, you wouldn't have like a few drops and stuff like that. It would all try to pull towards each other and like try so it'd stick together. There's like actual scientific thing behind it. I don't have it all in my mind right now, but it's cool how atoms are like drawn to each other. It's almost like magnetism. Anyway, guys, as far as that stuff happened, I never want to talk about it again. I never want to mention it again. All the people like trying to talk about it and keep it going, I just kept telling them, no, I don't want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear it. Here's the thing. It sucks that it happens. It sucks that it took away some of our higher level competitors that we had.
Yeah, the family.
Yeah, especially all the point was, and I'm sure that they would agree now that emotions are not in it, like everything that was said, if you listen and like even listen to me then, same points, same talking things. Emotion and reason cannot occupy the same space. That's a principle of life. So when you get angry about something, it's very, very, very hard to be logical about it. And then you are responsible for your happiness. No matter who you are, where you're from, whatever, what conditions you're in, you are responsible for your happiness. You, no one else. No one can make you happy. No one can do enough work to fix you or make you successful, make you happy, any of that stuff. And I done this little thing with the kids, with the teenagers about a year ago, and I think I need to do it with some of our adults. You stand on the tailgate of a truck. Try to pick someone up without their help and put them on the back of the tailgate with you. How many people you think you're going to actually be able to pick somebody up and put them on the end of that tailgate? 0. Like, you might have some very strong people that can do it, but it's hard. It's really hard. Now, same conditions. You reach down, grab somebody's hand. They want to get on the tailgate. They put their foot on the tailgate. Can you pull them up? Yes. Yes, you can. But they have to want it. They have to put in the work. It has to be them. You can't do it. You can't pick somebody up to where you are. And that is a representation of success and happiness. And how easy is it for somebody to pull you off that tailgate? Any Joe Blow can walk by and push you off the tailgate. And you have to start over. It is very, very easy to get drugged down. There's a lot of negativity in the world. It's very easy to get pulled into it. It's very easy to get caught in that negative mindset. It's very easy to hit your peak of success and then get pulled off that tailgate or get pulled back down to where you're starting over. You're having to rebuild. Very easy. And that's my visual representation of trying to make someone happy, picking them up and putting them on the tailgate. It's almost impossible. Now, if they want it and you want to help them find it and help them start understanding things like their love language, start understanding things like their personal dramas, like personal things that they carry with them, you can do that. But you still have to be very mindful of your person and your thoughts and you, because it's real easy for them to pull you down while you're trying to help them up. So that's what I got to say about that. Change it off the serious note. We are doing a summer camp. Our summer camp has here you know more about it than I do.
We have a Mythbusters week, a sports week, a race week. We're gonna make some race cars. We're gonna build some birdhouses.
Ice cream.
Yeah, we're gonna do some ice cream as a science experiment. We're gonna make some Diet Coke explode. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we're gonna do some jiu-jitsu every day.
So jiu-jitsu every morning and every afternoon because we're still going to have our regular classes. We have our parents' night out on Friday the 13th, May.
I told you that wasn't a good idea.
It's a great idea. Parents' night out so the parents can go and have a movie night or have a date night or whatever and then come back and get the kids. Dude, there's a lot of big things. We come up with our core values, which is something I was working on before I went to Tribe, and we finished them up when I got back. So our core values is going to start being shown here and talked about regularly with our kids. Number 1, be ruthless in your pursuit of happiness and success. That is a core value. Be ruthless in your pursuit of happiness and success. Number 2, expect the best in the future and be disciplined to achieve it. So, what does that sound like? Number 1, be ruthless in your pursuit of happiness and success. Be disciplined. Number 2, expect the best in the future and be disciplined to achieve it. That's hope. Have hope that you're going to have a great future. And one of the things that we're doing that I'm asking all of my team members to do is write down their worst life imaginable to them, and then write down their best life imaginable to them. And then now they have a map, and it's real easy to get where you want to be when you have a map. Now you know what you're leaving, what you're heading away from, and what you're heading towards. So that's your hope. And so number 3, be thankful and aware of all good things. Be grateful, guys. Be thankful and aware of all good things. Recognize when you have something. Think about how far you are, and think about how much the old you wanted to be right where you are now. Think about the things that you wanted back then that you actually have now. You got to do that every day. This one was close to my heart. Act on your convictions. This is one of the things. It's a pull the trigger. Act on your convictions. This is one of the things that for me is close to me, because I wish somebody would have told me sooner. Like now my back's hurt. I feel like a lot of everything that I enjoy, that I actually find happiness in, is physical. And now my back's hurt, so I can't do those physical things. Can't skate, can't swim, can't grapple, can't do all this stuff until I get healed. So I was in a bad place mentally and stuff because of that. And if I would have acted on my convictions and pulled the trigger earlier, my back would have never got injured doing a job that I wasn't happy doing anyway. And then it wouldn't have been so easy to get hurt again, you know? And then the last one, be your own legend. Joe Rogan talks about waking up in the morning with a camera crew in your face. And like, they're filming your success. How much harder would you work towards your success if the entire world was watching every single day? Like from the time you woke up to the time you went to bed, the cameras were following you. How much more work would you do? How much harder would you work to become your own legend? How much harder would you work to reach your goals? Those are our core values, and we're instilling them in our employees and our coaches, and we're getting our members on board with that. That's going to be the culture, and if you don't like those and you don't want to be a part of those, then we don't want you in our school. We want people here that's working towards their own happiness. We want people here working towards their goals. We want people to see the best in the future. We don't want negative people in here that are trying to break people and tear each other down. We want a culture in which everybody is set up for everybody to find some sort of happiness and success, whatever that looks like to them. You guys got any announcements, any things you want to say?
I don't think so. I think you covered it.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Guys, that's Tech Talk for the week. We're working on building and trying to make better. All the drama and stuff that happened, like I said, I apologize for my part. I own that. That was on me. We're trying to move forward and get past it. And this is the last I want to ever speak on it again, but wanted the world to kind of see, and if you guys think I was wrong, write in the comments. Like, comment below, talk about it. Tell me what you guys, if you think that I'm wrong about you pursuing your own happiness, hey, write it down there. Let us know. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. If you're in Eastman, Georgia, check out our sponsors, Beard and Chiropractic Care, for all your chiropractic needs. Check out our my Coach Jimmy channel. That's where we're going to live stream the SMI, the Strange Matter Invitational. You guys come in and join, comment on that. We're going to have commentators sitting to the bottom. They're going to be real small, just sitting off to the side, little heads. I don't know how we're going to do it, but anyway, it's going to be all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening. You guys have an amazing night. Peace. That's Coach Jimmy, Coach Taylor, Coach Bam. Good night, guys.